Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of Congregational Humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. I'm David Breeden, Senior Minister. Welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Society here in Minneapolis on this Sunday, November 5th. Our theme for November is generosity. First Unitarian Society is a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. Our programming is on-site, live, online, live, and available on demand 24/7. My name is David Buckley. I'm here with Reverend David Breeden, and we have Mike Vasich, our music director, as well as today with us, vocalist Alan Steinhauser, and and Sylvia Scoggin. Say it again? Scoggin, there we go, thank you, on violin. They'll be doing music for Leonard Cohen and others, so excited about that. Today we welcome OWL educators from around the country. Can you stand up? Oh, they're downstairs. Oh, sorry. I thought they might have had a break. Okay. Okay. We welcome them into the building. However, you all, if you would, look to your left and your right and say to someone, "I'm so glad you're here today." I'm so glad you're here today. Great. Well, there's a lot to say, and there will be lots of time after the assembly to pick up that conversation. I love it, though. Just right in. Welcome all to this place of love and justice, this place where we attempt to live up to humanity's highest ideals and pursue our highest hopes. Do we always succeed? No, not always. We often fail. Do we try again? Yes, we always do. Because we are people looking out for each other, sentient beings, and the planet. Welcome all to this gathering where the sacred and the holy are created by our being together. Thank you for being with us today. And I think we will start with a song. All right.
The songs today are from the Rise Up Singing Songbook collection. And anybody who's interested in starting a Rise Up group here at the church, talk to me. I saw Jesus on the hill, on a cross called Calvary. Do you hate mankind for what they done to you? He said, talk of love, not hate, things to do, it's getting late. I've so little time and I'm only passing through. Passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. I saw Adam leave the garden with an apple in his hand. Said, now you're out, what are you gonna do? Plant some crops and pray for rain, maybe raise a little cane. I'm an orphan now and I'm only passing through. Passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue, glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. Washington at Valley Forge, shivering in the snow. Said, how come the men here suffer like they do? Men will suffer, men will fight, even die for what is right, even though they know they're only passing through. Passing through. Passing through, sometimes happy, sometimes blue, glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. Passing through, passing through, sometimes happy, sometimes blue, glad that I ran into. Tell the people that you saw me passing through.
All right, as Paul lights our chalice, please say with me the words of our fourth aspiration. We aspire to support one another's journey toward meaning and connection in the here and now. Okay, and another song.
Yep. If everyone will stand on this.
This is the Byrds version, not Pete Seeger, even though he wrote it. Time
Good work, everybody.
And join me in the Congregational Covenant. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. First Unitarian Society is a congregational humanist community, which means that we are here for one another, our neighbors, our planet. When we gather on Sundays, we take a few moments to reflect on the human experience, the joys, the sorrows, the milestones. We do this to stay in touch with our own humanity and to remind ourselves of a moment of stillness. A joy today. The most recent surgery for FUS member Sheila Callender went well, so we wish her all the continued recovery, yeah. A sorrow. Andrea Miller, sister of FUS member Maureen Hunt and daughter of FUS member Madeline Simon, died tragically on October 26th. Andrea was a leader in reproductive health, rights, and justice movement, preserving access to abortion and reproductive care for more than 30 years. A memorial will be held in New York City and also here in the spring. By the way, downstairs, you can stop by the card basket and send a note to folks that we mention in Joys and Sorrows and those who are unable to attend the assembly. Now we take a few moments to reflect on suffering in our world and those who work to comfort the suffering and work for justice. We remain mindful of the fear and fighting going on as we speak in Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, and elsewhere.
abandoned to beauty and pride. The thorn of the night in your bosom, the spear of the age in your side. Lost in the rages of fragrance, lost in the rags of remorse, lost in the waves of the sickness that loosens the high silver nerves. Oh, chosen love, oh frozen love, oh tangle of matter and ghost, oh darling of angels, demons and saints, and the whole broken-hearted host, gentle this soul. And come forth from the cloud of unknowing, and kiss the cheek of the moon, the new Jerusalem glowing. Why tarry all night in this room? Oh chosen love, oh frozen love, oh tangle of matter and ghost, oh darling of angels, demons and saints, and the whole broken-hearted host, gentle this soul, and leave no word of discomfort, and leave no observer to mourn, but climb on your tears and be silent, like the rose on its ladder of thorn. Oh chosen love, oh frozen love, oh tangle of matter and ghost, oh darling of angels, demons and saints, and the whole broken-hearted host, gentle this soul. Then lay your rose on the fire give up to the sun give over to splendor in the arms of the High Holy One. For the Holy One dreams of a letter, dreams of a letter's death. Oh, bless the continuous stutter of the Word being made into flesh. Oh, chosen love, oh, frozen love, oh, tangle of matter and ghost, oh, darling of angels, demons and saints, and the whole broken-hearted host, gentle this soul, gentle this soul.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. As Buckley said, our theme for November is generosity. One of my pet theories is that what we nowadays call religion is based in the human emotions of generosity, or at least generosity's poor cousin, reciprocity. In this case, I'll define generosity as giving with no strings attached, and reciprocity as exchange with some strings attached. In my scenario, the religions of the world began as local expressions of generosity. Now, why do I think that? Because we human beings evolved as tribal animals. We are dependent animals, but we are also inventive and productive animals. We have depictions of exchange economies from early recorded history. So, I can imagine a scenario in which the best spear point maker in the village makes me a brand new spear point. Thanks, Ugg, I say. Now, Ugg, in his best Sopranos accent, says, "Hey, wait a minute, I got obligations here." Sorry, New Jersey. And so, exchange economies begin. Exchange in one form or another appear to be the universal economy previous to the exchange of some kind of precious metals. To be clear about what I'm attempting to say here, the English word generosity has its Latin root generositas, generosus, meaning noble or magnanimous, and yes, noble being the chief, being able to give out the stuff. The English word reciprocity has a Latin root, reciprocitas, reciprocus, meaning returning in the same way. It's a metaphor. You go back the same way you came. Therefore, mutual exchange or mutual dependence. The two words are clearly very different in what they're supposed to lead to. So, what about that thing that I've talked a lot about from here, the thing that we call luck, or good fortune, or fate, or way too much of whatever? Who or what do we thank for that excess? A good hunt, plentiful berries, the tornado goes in another direction. The way too much thing, the true too much. Who or what do we thank? What happened when primates began to think about generosity? Maybe even being too generous out there. Who or what do we thank for the generosity of the planet? Who is implied? Well, is there reciprocity involved somehow? If so, if we have to pay this back, who or what do we pay back? And we know from the evidence that this line of thought led to some natural questions. Can I do something and thereby get the luck, good outcome, that I want? Can who or what be cajoled to give me something? That's my scenario for how religion evolved. And we know how it worked out. One primatologist, I forget who, I read too much, I suppose, I don't always keep notes, but one primatologist says the way to consider the difference between humans and chimps is by imagining 150 chimps on an airplane. Put them in, close the door, wait an hour. Then you put 150 people on an airplane, close the door, wait an hour. Now, the scenario is not to say that human beings are smart and chimps are not. there's not good and bad in this scenario. Chimps don't build airplanes, so they don't really need to evolve to deal with being on them. But we do. That's a difference. Our understanding of reciprocity is highly evolved as long as we consider the rules of social conduct. The reciprocity that is assumed is functioning properly. That's a central discussion right now concerning Gaza. Where is the breaking point of civil society? We've probably already crossed it. Because we know that the human understanding of reciprocity has some weak points. For example, reciprocity depends on most people having something to trade. What if nobody does? We know that overemphasis on reciprocity can make relationships transactional. What are you going to do for me? And that leads to tit for tat, and that can break down quickly. And then we know that there's that good old human habit of keeping score. Keeping score. And when people start keeping score, resentment and that green-eyed monster jealousy are not far behind. And then reciprocity has reached a breaking point. Now here's a question I've been pondering. Does generosity itself hold the key to what we call religion, at least in its best qualities? What about generosity could be made into a way of life, which is what religions are supposed to be? I'm not talking money here, by the way. I want to keep money out of the conversation for the moment. I'm imagining an overall mental attitude, a worldview of generosity way beyond the bounds of writing checks. Rather than living in a reality of scarcity and reductionism, rather than living in a mindset of never enough, living with an attitude that there's plenty of everything all the time. The scariest thing is thinking about it and getting it right. People have long prayed for rain. Now we know how rain comes about, but we still can't control it. Rainfall, good crops, these are generosity in their very essence. Our gratitude to the planet that sustains us, I think, is an obligation. As far as I'm concerned, I've always been thankful, but then I've always been a farmer, so rain means a lot to us. If each of us doesn't have unquestioned gratitude for our sustaining planet, I think we're just not thinking about it very much. All we have to do is look around, and it appears that our so-called domination of nature has made nature itself indomitable. And that's because of our ingratitude. We ourselves decide upon the sacred, and we create the sacred. We say that every week here. Humanists know that we create the sacred. Now, a little different, but I'm coming back to gratitude. As many of you know, and generosity, I have a love-hate relationship, or maybe a respect-despair relationship with the New York Times and Atlantic Monthly columnist David Brooks. Brooks is one of the few nationally recognized columnists writing about ethics and classical liberalism today. So you kind of have to engage with him, but he ticks me off quite often. So what should greet me this week but this? An article in the Atlantic Monthly by David Brooks titled A Humanist Manifesto. The world feels like an awful place right now. Here's how to make it better, end quote. Now, first off, David Brooks is a well-read person. He knows very well that we humanists have a humanist manifesto. We actually have 3 of them. He knows he's stepping into our territory. Brooks may even be well enough read to know that the first Humanist Manifesto was largely penned by a minister of First Unitarian Society, Ray Bragg, back in 1933. Second off, the reason I have that love-hate relationship with Brooks and his discussions of ethics is that he routinely falls back into conservative assumptions concerning how Christianity, his definition of Christianity, can save us. Brooks isn't exactly changing his tune in this particular article. He is, of course, talking little h humanist, right? But what he says in the article is also true of big H humanists, our humanist movement, at least when we are at our best. And this is a call for us to be our best. Brooks begins by citing the example of one of our greatest humanist voices, James Baldwin, who said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Wise and classic humanism. After citing our humanist James Baldwin, Brooks writes this: "Here, amid the corrosive flow of dehumanization, was the very image of a defiant humanist." He means James Baldwin. Here was a person who had organized his life around the great humanist endeavors, to try to see others in all their complexity and depth, to try to see yourself with humility, self-awareness, and compassion, to try to act in ways that are considerate, just, and discerning, above all, to try to see the world from another person's point of view. In these violent, vicious times, this humanist gospel of curiosity and respect for others may seem hopelessly woo-woo and naive. But I assure you that humanism is a hard-headed and practical way of being. We call it pragmatism, actually, right? He goes on to say, the ability to understand the people you're dealing with is practical. Leading with respect and curiosity is practical. Rabidly, the dehumanizers lead us down a death spiral of animosity and distrust. Bravely and effectively, the humanists try to break the descent. At the center of every healthy family, organization, and nation is a core of humanistic skill, the capacity to see others deeply, to understand them, and to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. As I've said before, that is indeed our humanist superpower, the capacity to see others deeply, to understand them, and to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And also, as I've said many times from up here, the quintessential humanist activity is quality conversation, the den of conversation. And one last quote from David Brooks, and then I'll let him go. "Emotional intelligence can be developed like athletic ability. Yes, people are born with a certain innate temperament and capacity, but you can get more emotionally proficient with practice. The key trait of a dehumanizer is emotional crudity. A humanist, on the other hand, has learned complex emotional responses." And yeah, that's what we heard from our headless humanist last weekend, who had had an unfortunate brush with a cannonball. You don't need all that brain power to explore your emotional intelligence. Generosity. It's easily missed when it is generously given. We've got 6 or 8 people downstairs right now making wonderful cinnamon rolls for you. And they're not going to ask for nothing. It is generously given. Although we will raise some money for the minister's discretionary fund. And I do use that money wisely to help people at FUS. But you get the idea. Humanist spaces, just take that for an example, all over this country. I mean, this one is big and beautiful. It's also the biggest and beautifulest humanist place in the country. But all over the country, humanists are giving generously to keep our little movement going, exactly because of what David Brooks is saying. We are the key to a better future. It's central and essential to humanist thought. We do things because as social animals, we consider those things to be the right thing to do. Often, no, we don't just have to. We do. One of the features of humanist thinking about religion is that religion is for human beings, not the other way around. In the same spirit, humanist generosity isn't only about how a person shares, but also how our attitude toward the material world in general shows itself. As that good old First Humanist Manifesto puts it, thanks Ray Bragg, the goal of humanism is a free and universal society in which people voluntarily and intelligently cooperate for the common good. Humanists demand a shared life in a shared world. That's my favorite line from any of the humanist manifestos, but yes, I'm an old democratic socialist. As the current Humanist Manifesto puts it, these days, and this is the one that we still have in effect, getting a little agey, working to benefit society, it says, maximizes individual happiness. Progressive cultures have worked to free humanity from the brutalities of mere survival and to reduce suffering, improve society, and develop global community. We seek to minimize the inequities of circumstance and ability, and we support a just distribution of nature's resources and the fruits of human effort so that as many as possible can enjoy a good life. That's a lot wordier than Mr. Bragg was, not nearly as well phrased, but it's still true right there. That is what we want to do, is spread the good life and the ability to live a good life as widely as possible. That is the center of our generosity. Yes, what our world needs today is more humanism with both a little h and a big H. We humanists insist that those impulses that we call religious must function in positive directions. Humanism is about being humane. How we give to and of ourselves is who we are. Generosity of spirit can save humanity. It's about the only thing that can. Why do we give? Why do we share? Let's insist upon living generously. Generously not because of obligation or fear, but because of our deep sense of interconnectedness with other humans, other sentient beings, and the planet itself. Because of a desire for societal betterment, because of the deep personal fulfillment that comes from living in generosity. Let's sing a song. If you will all rise, please. And we will get the words on that screen. Who
I am Becca Justiniano, the Secretary for the Board of Directors of the Foundation of the First Unitarian Society. And that is quite a mouthful. Today, I am honored to announce this year's grants made on behalf of the Kurt Pearson Memorial Fund. Social Concerns Fund. Let's get things right. The Kurt Pearson Fund was established in 1992 in memory of Kurt by his parents. Each year, the fund makes grants to nonprofit organizations that Kurt would have found important. This year, the fund is making grants to 4 worthy groups, and they are the Changemakers Alliance. Their mission, as a longtime publisher struggling with the costs of local journalism and drops in advertising revenue, Minnesota Women's Press, the parent organization of Changemakers Alliance, is being creative about how to underwrite story development initiatives. One of the topics in our 2024 will center on mental health. It will be the theme of the magazine, as well as a series of reimagining public safety online stories. We connect directly with people in community supportive housing projects who have found stability that enables them to address mental health or addiction issues with wraparound services. This is happening in Bemidji, Duluth, St. Peter, and Minneapolis. Next, we have Rainbow Health. Their mission. Rainbow Health's mission is to respond to the health needs of Minnesota's LGBTQ and HIV-affected communities. Our vision is ambitious to end HIV in Minnesota so everyone can have safe, responsive health care regardless of gender or sexual identity. Third, Avenues for Youth. Their mission. Avenues for Youth partners with youth experiencing homelessness to achieve their dreams. For more than 28 years, Avenues has supported youth ages 16 to 24 in Hennepin County. Whether a young person needs someplace to stay for just one night or a year and a half, Avenues supports youth to find their path out of homelessness. We do this by providing a stable home and building trusting relationships and navigating the youth's education, career, health, and wellness, and housing goals. And fourth, and for this one I must apologize if I mispronounce it, I'm not a native speaker of the language. The Aking Gwinanagdong Project. I think that's Ojibwe or Navajo, I'm not sure which. Gwinanagdong is happening, and we need your help. This last year, the Anishinaabe-led, registration, I should have read my thing. Community development organization purchased the former Carnegie Library, turned Enbridge office to create a museum of culture and treaty rights in downtown Park Rapids, Minnesota. That museum is the first Native independently controlled museum in the state. And we are planning to open it in July of this year, just in time for our Shell River gathering. And Summer in the North Country. We are inviting you to join us as founding members. The Gwinanagdong Center is the first of its kind to share the stories and educations of the Deep North, spanning from Wisconsin, Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, and beyond. On behalf of the Foundation and the members of the First Unitarian Society, I want to thank the Pearson family for creating this fund and commitment to social justice in our community. Thank you. And now for a brief costume change.
Yeah. Okay.
New hat, new announcement. I am still Becca Justiniano, and I am still a member of the Foundation Board. I am also now speaking to you as a member of this society for 20 plus years. In this building, I have found the most eclectic group of people coming from the most eclectic backgrounds, all moving in basically the same direction. Kind of, sort of. Because when you have that much eclecticness, you don't all go in the same direction no matter how hard you try. But at least we have shared goals. Some of them. And that's the important part. And that is what we want to support. We've often heard that, this society is built on the time, talent, and treasure of its members. I'm going to talk to you about the treasure part. We would like donations, please, to help keep funding this building, the staff within it, and the programs that you have come to rely on. You can do so if you are online by going to the upper right-hand corner of the webpage and clicking on the Donate Down button. If you are in the building, you can pull out that little pocket computer you've got and use the Banco app. Yeah, that thing. That thing. The Banco mobile app. Or if you are a little more traditional and would like to use your credit card, we have a kiosk downstairs. If you're more traditional than that and would like to write a check, you can drop it off in the office. And there, if you're really, really traditional, I'm pretty sure that they will take cash. Thank you very much.
All right, stay comfortable. We've got a bunch of announcements. After assembly today, those in the building can enjoy food, coffee, and conversation downstairs. It is Cinnamon Roll Sunday. Yeah! Yes. We have homemade cinnamon rolls that are baked on site. While supplies last is an important thing to say. All right. All proceeds, as David mentioned, go to the minister's discretionary fund to help FUS members in need. During our social hour, we'll also have savory snacks to complement the rolls. So you can call it healthy. Yeah. And if you're in your 20s or 30s, you can take that food upstairs and join the young adult activities at the society group. Yes. Yes, we go. In the library to converse about life and conspire around activities we might want to organize. While you're downstairs, Active Voices creates actionable messages on a variety of social justice topics. They'll be down there. And the action now is protecting LGBTQ people from discrimination. At noon, there will be a book discussion that Reverend David is leading here in the Upper Assembly Hall, discussing chapters 3 to 5 of The Pocket Stoic by John Sellers, which is available in the bookstore. Also at noon, a building tour. That'll be at 12:15 at the Mount Curve entrance over here. If you ever wondered where the FUS secret stairs are? Yes. It's interesting. With over 70 years of history, there's a lot to know about our building. You'll have the opportunity to learn more when FUS member Bruce Nelson guides our walking tour. And later in the afternoon, Hidden Layers, music for violin and piano by LGBTQ composers. And that's going to be from 2 to 3, featuring our pianist Amos and violinist Ian Snyder, exploring over 2 centuries of music by LGBTQ composers, sharing eloquent and dynamic works. It is free and open to the public. As many of you know, members of FUS and 2 other UU congregations have been collaborating for about 9 months to sponsor 3 Ukrainian families. These families are now here in the Twin Cities, thriving due to their efforts. Read all about their progress and the accomplishments of the project on the FUS website under Social Justice, that tab. And if you're inspired, you can also get involved. Keep up with the many things going on here at FUS by signing up for our Friday update email. You'll find a link to the member survey there. We still need a few more people to complete that, so if you hadn't, please look for that. If you have not, please look for that. And follow us on various social media channels. And let's see, if you could join me for the words to extinguish our chalice as Paul comes up. And the words will come up here momentarily. Or you know it. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. Thank you. And then we have another song. All right. Go out into the world, be fearless, ask questions, hold on to what is good, strengthen the weak, comfort the fearful, serve the suffering. Do what makes you come alive, for as the great Howard Thurman said, the world needs more people who have come alive. Rejoice in the power of the human spirit. So may it be.
Cinnamon roll!